Tobias Walter with NextGen T, and I'm here at Cisco Live with Nicole LeBlanc, the Cisco account manager for the City of New Orleans. Nicole, you were just telling me about how Cisco has helped out the City of New Orleans. What exactly does Cisco do for the City of New Orleans?
Well, to understand anything about the City of New Orleans, you have to go back to before Katrina. If you remember Hurricane Katrina, it was a really devastating time for the city. Lots of folks who were residents of the city moved out of the city, and the population went from 500,000 to 396,000. Wow. So a tremendous amount of job loss, folks coming back to the city, and rental properties that they did not own that were underwater and looking for work. So a lot of those folks turned to crime, unfortunately, and the city trying to police that, it was getting out of hand. When we took a look at what the federal government was saying, the federal government came down with a consent decree and said, look, you've got to get crime under control. And the only way to really do that was to put in a real-time crime center where they could monitor what was going on inside the city, because they couldn't hire enough officers fast enough to put them back on the street and get them trained.
So can you give us an example of how bad crime really was? I mean, in comparison to how it had been before Katrina.
Yeah, so per capita, if you look at the City of New Orleans, they're number 3 in the nation for crime. So 1 in 7 people will be affected by some kind of violent crime inside the city if you are a resident there. And that's not even the tourism piece, which they have about 17.7 million people that come to the city and tour the city annually.
So they obviously have a huge problem here. They want to fix it, and because the federal government's saying they have to, they need to fix it. So Cisco's an IT company. How is the IT company, Cisco, going to come in and actually solve this problem for the City of New Orleans?
Exactly what I was thinking as the account manager, but let me take you over here real quick.
Awesome.
And we'll kind of go through the solution and what Cisco really brought to the table.
I'm going to let you take this so we can hear you here.
So a little bit of information about what they deployed to make this happen. So in the city's data center, they do use our SDA DNA architecture as well as Cisco UCS servers to run the analytics software that push the back-end systems. They have 2 geographically dispersed data centers that mimic each other across about a 60-mile span. They also use our collaboration tools, our CUCM. They use our WebEx, Cisco WebEx boards and Teams boards in the morning for ComStat briefings. Those ComStat briefings, each one of the precincts report in the morning, and when that happens, they're able to push from their mobile device any footage they may have, or from their tablet any footage they may have, and then annotate on top of that in the situational awareness aspect. They also use our endpoint encryption end-to-end with the 829 ISR router, which is on every light pole and in every vehicle, whether that's an EMS vehicle, an NOPD vehicle, a fire truck, any of those types of public safety vehicles all have the 829 deployed. They have 360-degree cameras on top of them ingesting video. They also ingest video from the cameras that are on the light poles. From this, they've developed many, many business cases that have come out of it. One of the things that they're doing now is starting to monitor with flood sensors, because water is a huge problem inside the city. They're monitoring the depth, so they know whether to close down a city street or whether to clean out the storm drain because it's full of Mardi Gras beads, which happens from time to time, right? So that's another project that they're embarking on. Things like illegal dumping, now they've got cameras in those sites. And then once they ingest all the video from the video wall that you've seen here, that video is taken into our UCS platform, and then data analytics is run against it. And when they run the data analytics, they can timestamp folks. They can detect a blue shirt, white hat, right? So if a guy runs a red light, or if a guy runs or robs a bank at the corner, they can definitely sense, blue shirt, white hat, and then find him on all the crime cameras that exist within the city.
So these are actual police officers sitting behind these cameras, and they're doing this?
No, absolutely not. So this is a civilian staff center. So the only purpose of the Real-Time Crime Center in New Orleans is to really package up that evidence and hand it off to the police department. They do not make legal decisions in that center. They strictly package up the evidence, hand off to an NOPD officer, and save him time. So if you can imagine from a time perspective, when you're investigating a crime, it's usually probably 18 hours of footage that you have to watch, right? Now they're watching one screen with all the blue shirt, white hats, right? One frame, and they're able to police the streets and put the officer back on the street faster.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for giving us this information. It sounds really cool how we have a real world problem New Orleans is having, and Cisco, partnering with network engineers, has designed a networking solution to help actually fight crime and even going forward help against natural disasters like floods. That is absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for talking to us.
Jacob Hess here. Thank you guys for viewing the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And I'd also like to remind you that if you're truly serious about your career in information technology, be sure to check out our Career Blueprint and Engineer Training Program at www.zerotoengineer.com.